All right. Welcome everyone to Spill Your Sauce, the music show by producers for producers. Today we'll have 1 hour. We'll get to know our guests, learn about their come up and their process, how they go about their production skills. Today we have none other than a big legend to the Toronto scene. We have Eli Brown, a multi-platinum producer from Brampton, Ontario. Produced In the Bible with Drake, Giveon, and Lil Durk. Also has worked with Chris Brown and Young Thug, amongst many others. He's also a co-founder of Loophole Sounds. So I guess to get us started, if you want to just let them know about your come up, if you will, like how you started on production, how you made it to where you are now, little cool moments in between and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Depending on where people are from, in Canada we have this thing called 40 hours, where you need to do like community service, volunteer hours and whatnot. And there's this place where they taught music production, and I really needed beats, because I was making music myself, and I was like, yo, I need Wonder Girl beats. And at that time I need Wonder Girl beats, and there's nowhere I could find them. There's no way, and I couldn't afford her price, definitely at that time. So that place was the best place I could just start learning how to do it. And at that time, Rodham in Paradise came, Jazz Cartier, his album just dropped, and apparently he came the day before my first day. Yeah, I love that project so much. I was like, bro, Jazz Cartier's over there. This place is official.
Yeah.
He never came again. I made sure I came every other day just to possibly bump into him, but it was just he just came that one time.
Yeah.
That consistency, helped me out later on. So I was making beats or whatever. I ended up meeting a good homie I still know now, Matt the Eye, during my time over there. We happened to be working for One the Child now to this day. So it's a crazy kind of full circle moment. And after that, what happened? I met Boy Wonder 3 months into making beats. Yeah, he posted a thing on Instagram. What? Yeah, I almost quit too. That's what was even more funny. But it was 3 months into making beats. He posted something on Instagram at a school. It's called Cloud 10. It's youth program or something. And I just showed up.
Okay.
Just pulled up, and that was my first time taking the bus. So I was stressed. I took so many buses just to get to this one school. Not really much people were there. It was probably 10 people. And he just, so what do you talk about? He just talked about his story. He played a 0 to 100 beat. He played a couple of beats that ended up becoming placements too. And I think he went on to do Black of the Berry at that time too, which was so inspiring because Kendrick Lamar, my favorite rapper.
Yeah.
And I didn't really care about Drake at that time, deeply.
Yeah.
So it was when he played 0 to 100, it didn't really hit me. But when he produced Black of the Berry 3 months after, I'm yo, who is this guy? What's wrong with him? But he was yeah, my parents told me to get a job, and I didn't get a job. I just kept making music. And I don't know why that hit so deep. I was yo, you just did it. You just said no fucks. You went and chased your dreams and made it happen. So I did that. I started working with a producer for the night. That's the first person I really showed my beats to. You know what I mean? And after I started working with Lord Quest, and that's a close family of his, so a family friend.
Yeah.
And we kept working for 6 months, and we got a placement with Maestro Fresh.
Crazy.
Or Maestro Fresh. I don't know how to pronounce the name properly, but the Toronto legend.
Yeah.
I got $400. You want to know what I did with that $400? I bought a ticket to LA, fam.
Really?
Yes. No B&B, just a ticket, fam.
And just went out there.
And it's a crazy story. I had really go into the detail to make it worthwhile. So basically, I had trouble with money, right? I was not good at just keeping money. And my mom always makes this running on joke. I can't have a certain amount to my name. And bro, I was just working with Quest, working with him, got a 400, and that was the first time I had a decent amount.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm bro, I probably want to spend it on food again or some bullshit. I'm you know what? Nah, I always want to go to LA. Let me just buy the ticket.
Yeah.
And I'm yo, if I have to sleep on the fucking roadside, I'll do it. People do it all the time. Fuck, I can't even remember, fam. I can't even remember the exact year. It's a pre-pandemic, fam. Full, Skid Row had me, fam. Holy moly. But yeah, nah. I was like, yo, I'll sleep on the floor if I have to for a few days. Like, I probably only had like change for like one day at a spot. But I just kept talking about going to LA, and my homie Snaps was like, yo, I'm trying to go to LA. I've never been there before.
Yeah.
And my homie Blasian was like, yo, I'm trying to go to LA. And Fortnite trying to go to LA. The SV trying to go to LA. And basically, it was like a whole situation. We all figured it out. And like by that time, I also got more paper to like, you know what I mean, get like the Airbnb spot with them. But them come on the trip made it way much more easier. So
sorry, and just to cut you off, it seems like in the few things you said, it seems like you're very like you have like a bit of a spontaneous energy with like things when it comes to music production and stuff. Would you say like that's something for like other people to have, like a little bit, like it says, like you see that like Boy Wonder's at this school, it's like, oh, I'm in the area, I'm gonna do everything I can to get.
I wasn't even in the area, but yeah, I took those risks.
Would you say like that those risks that you've done and stuff that you continue to do is what puts you in the position that you're in?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I just took that chance. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta be willing to take that chance. Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
If I heard about the stories on Skid Row or like just being robbed in LA, like I heard those before that or during, that would have like, I don't know, I could have been in a bad spot. I could have been in a very, very bad spot. But, you know, I just took the chance. Like, you know, you put your foot forward. So like, yeah, I go to LA, I meet this guy right before I go to LA. Like, I always believe in these like signs. I had a snippet with Chris Brown right before my flight.
You got
the day of my flight.
You got a sign?
I'm just saying this is usually just different signs.
Oh, okay.
Don't necessarily correlate or mean anything at face value, but it kind of just gives you like this confirmation that you're on the right path. And literally the day of my flight, the week before my flight, or was it the week before my flight? Either 4 days before my flight, I got a snippet with Chris Brown.
Crazy.
Which was a beat with me, Johnny Stokes, and his producer Vision. It was supposed to be for Indigo.
Okay.
That got cut. We'll come back to that. And the day of my flight, my first placement had dropped.
Oh, Jane.
My Jaden Smith's placement with Keanu Beats and A.O., the producer.
Oh, that's it.
Literally the day of the flight.
That's wicked. That's hype, bro.
You know what I mean? So that's like, how? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know who he was. He just hit me and he kept hitting me and just consistently, yo, let's work, send me shit, da-da-da-da. I'm like, all right, like, you know what I mean? Like, he seems cool.
Yeah.
Like, so I go to LA, I'm there. I meet Business Boy for the first time and P2J, who's also killing the game. Like, and that too is like seeing people go from a certain point of the career to a higher point like that and see how they work behind the scenes is just nuts.
Yeah.
I learned a lot doing that. But I met P2J and Business Boy. I met Kid Culture, Johnny Stokes playing the Chris Brown record at his crib.
Crazy.
I met the person that produced Lamborghini Mercy. Like, there's so many things that, like, being from Toronto at that time just didn't provide.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's my first LA trip. Kid Culture brought me to the studio with this artist, Warhol SS, back when he was, like, popping.
Crazy.
Kid Culture telling me about, I produced songs for Justin Bieber. So my mind just exploded. This kid's 16 telling me he has songs with Justin Bieber.
Crazy. How old are you at this time?
Probably 19.
Damn. So you're just soaking in all this info.
Soaking this whole thing up. This guy's producing. Bro, you guy made drum slap in Logic. That's enough. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to people in Logic, but he made it slap like FL.
Yeah. They're doing something. They're doing something.
But yeah, like fast forward into different moments. I left that trip with so much experience in terms of like the behind the scenes game and what the benchmark of music creation is, and I took that with me, applied it here every day. Obviously linked up with like guys like Waves, Nahum, Chris, or you guys probably know him as Cure, really. And the guy like Kingsway, I met Dukes, the Kingsway Pack, just working with those guys that are in processing, like, you know, how they do their thing. You know, I did my thing my way, but doing their thing, staying connected and having a studio space, which then I guess brought my attention to the scene, like with the Kingsway stuff, because it's like, oh shoot, like, and at that time that was the first round of people working with Dukes, Waves, Nahum, Chris, Illy, Mito, me, Daniel East, like those were like the first few people, Oscar, and like, you know, brought a lot of attention to us at that point. And I started doing my own thing on Drum Broker for a bit. Just because I want a little bit more control over my, you know, how my things to get right. And that was going cool. Like, it was Up North Music Group at that time, like my website. Yeah. I also did it, as I said, on Drum Broker. But then what happened? Just working with a lot of like lit producers, messaging people on Instagram. A couple people wanted to sign me. Got flown out to LA from Atlantic Records, more specifically Gary Leon, A&R Atlantic.
Crazy.
I think he used Atlantic's budget to like get me out there.
Sick.
And that's where I met Austin Powers during that trip. A funny story about Austin. We'll get to that when we talk about the record.
Yeah.
After that, pandemic starts happening. Things get a little cold. Austin hits me. No. Pandemic happens. Loophole starts to kick off. Actually, pre-Loophole, what it is with the Arteria packs, it was really just me and Nahum on FaceTime every day talking about how we can do single samples and how we want to do ink type samples of thing and how we can create the market for that. Because, like, I always thought about how to make music a business as well, not just, like, you know, placement side. Because it's like, sometimes it's slow. The placement's coming in slow. You had to get a big song for you to really get insane bread.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, all that those kind of things. So I thought the space needed some work. So I tried to have like these entrepreneurial ventures at that time. So that's what Loophole was. Where we transitioned from our up north site into Arteria packs, and we called Loophole, you know, the Arteria packs. Did sample classes too, which went crazy.
They did go crazy.
Top of the pandemic. And literally in the midst of me starting my sample class, the week after, and this is what I'm talking about, like signs and confirmation.
Yeah.
The week after I started my sample class, the Chris Brown and Thug record happened. So it's just like,
Things
it's just
flowing
like
in motion.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like this whole story you're saying, you're like the whole like from when you started, it seems it's just like you have this constant flow of like motion going up and up and up. But at the same time, I'm sure like when you're saying this, people are wondering like, damn, like all he's doing is like up and up and up. But like you said, there's a lot of shit that goes on behind the scenes. And
yeah, there's moments. Yeah, there's like
let's talk about that like a little bit. How like, you know, you're doing all these good things, but there's times where you're like, fuck, like you're on getting placements like you think, and you got to like dip your toes into the entrepreneurship side of things.
For sure. I'll get there in like a quick second. I just wrap up like the sequence of the story, but it was just like Austin, whatever, Loophole, did the Chris Brown thing. What after the Chris Brown thing, just started working the classes, was trying to help like a lot of my students like learn not just what it is to be a producer and so-called sample maker, but to carry yourself in this career just in general. And after the Boy record happened, and that kind of just flipped my whole like head upside down, you know what I mean? But like the pitfalls in the middle of it, like I never really talk about how I almost got stranded in Texas. I had no bread.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, I almost got stranded in Texas.
What happened there?
Fuck.
I never been to Texas. So if anybody in the chat's been to Texas and you know what it's like to be stranded in there,
bro. So basically, I went out to LA for an opportunity, and whatever, it kind of just like fell through. Like, I was like, yeah, come. The artist is working on this project. Like, I'm trying to have you a part. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm down. Like, I'll come. I went out there for a couple of weeks. I called other people that are over there for the same thing. And they're like, yeah, I'd been told the same thing. And I got ghosted. And I'm like, fuck, I'm here. What do you mean? Like, they was just not, this is LA. But obviously, I have my own opportunities and stuff. So I was like working. But it's just like, I really want to work with this artist. I'm not gonna say no names. Like, that would make this crazy. But like, that shit was like, bro.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So I extended my trip thinking, I was like, yo, this is a gamble right now. Like, I'm pushing the line. But I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. I did it. Still nothing. But I still got to do a lot of work for myself. And I walk on a serious fine line of just like taking a risk and just like gambling with my whole like future. I went to Texas. I forgot to change my time zone on my phone. I fell asleep, woke up, I'm chilling there. I'm just doing whatever. I don't know why it just hits me. I'm like, yo, this is the wrong time. Probably outside was a little darker than it's supposed to be. And like, I missed my flight.
No way. How far? What's the time difference?
Bro, the time difference, this is 3 hour time difference from EST, Toronto time.
Okay.
And it's 2 hour difference. Oh, no, it's an hour difference in Texas.
So they're 4 hours ahead.
So it's
or 4 hours different
from LA, but it's an hour difference relative to Toronto to Texas is an hour difference.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I had to be 2 hours ahead.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
anticipated for it to be 3 hours or
whatever,
back or forth, but it's really 2 hours.
So you missed
LA.
So you missed
I'll get there. So I'm in the whole different side of the terminal of the airport, and Texas airport, like that Dallas airport is the big airport. I'm pretty sure it's like one of the biggest airports.
Really? It's bigger than Pearson? Like,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. It was a big airport. I'm running, I'm stressing, I'm calling my girl. I'm like, yo, like, can you help me out like right now? She's like, nah, like this is the worst time to ask for help. I'm sitting there stressing. I'm looking at a lady. I'm like, yo, lady, like, what can I do? Or it's like, yo, call somebody. My phone was about to be out of service. So I was about to be so stuck in Texas. Like, you wouldn't have heard of me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would have been like missing Eli Brown, like, you know what I mean, for a week. I would have stayed there. That's how bad it was. My phone was like turning off as well. Like, it was dying. I didn't have a charger. You know what I mean? I was trying to like salvage some bread to try and get a flight. Didn't know how expensive it is. So I'm like, yo, is it the charger or the flight? Like, that was a crazy one. Luckily enough, like the plane didn't have enough oxygen. Like the oxygen pressure
okay.
wasn't safe to fly.
Okay.
So by the time I saw my phone on the service, it was like, yeah, flight delayed.
Wow.
So I ran my ass to the plane, but like
So you made it.
I made it. But like a close call like that is just like
The oxygen is crazy.
yeah. It's just like if it went into the sky, people wouldn't be able to like breathe properly because it was like it would have been too low.
Well, at least they were checking that.
So that was a L. Obviously, the just frustration on not just getting records, seeing some homies getting some sick records, and I feel like, oh fuck, like, am I not really getting the right sounds? Am I being too creative? Like overthinking that. That happened a lot. And just overall, people seem like university people, like people that took a different path, like feeling they're thriving, going to the club, studying, and you know what I mean, talking to the tangs, like you know what I mean, going out with their homies. I'm just in my crib Friday, Saturday, Sunday, making music. Like you know what I mean? That you kind of makes you question yourself a little bit. You know, like you're secure in it. Like you don't really like care. But after a while, when things are not working out, you're like, fuck. Like, do I want this to continue for the rest of my career? You shouldn't have like continue for the rest of your career. But it's like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like you just said, that something like reflects like what you said with university, especially when you get like after university and you're in like the mid-20s. Like you said, you're doing music and stuff, and like a lot of people like are doing like full-time jobs and like starting to get paid and starting to get bread and shit. Like you said, like you're like the music producers are still grinding for like a placement and stuff. Yeah, like sometimes it definitely will get to your head and shit like that.
100%. But you have to always stick to your own path, like, and always and just try not to compare yourself to people, because like some of those people at university, I realized their parents are like super funding them.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is cool. You teach his own. It's like, but it's just like that's a whole, your life is different than mine.
Yeah.
If you know, it feels like I got to focus on my thing.
There's a lot of crazy names that are mentioned in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like when you definitely say like your name anywhere in Toronto, like everybody's like, oh, Eli, I know Eli. It's some of like waves and stuff. Like you guys have like a good networking abilities, and like you're very well respected around Toronto and even outside of the network.
Outside of Toronto, yeah, it's crazy. Like it spans even outside of Toronto. Like I went to LA. Like I walk into rooms, and it's just like I say, oh, my name's Eli. Oh, you're Eli. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, yeah, like and it's like I feel like me and Waves, like we have a similar kind of path, which I found like at that time in the world was very, very important, and I'm not necessarily the most extroverted person. I'm introverted to myself. I don't like to talk. Like I'm only talking because we're like on camera. But like, if you really see me in the room, I'm a man of few words. It helps,
Yeah.
It kind of combat that side for me.
Yeah.
Which is not my strength.
I think that a lot of people are introverted and I feel like they don't network as good as like people like you. Like I've seen you could still be introverted, but you're still very respectful to everybody in the room. You always dab. Like I've been in rooms, I've come through with homies and you've never met you before and you're always well respectful and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think like that goes a long way too with still being introverted, but like still having respect to everybody and like network a proper way and stuff like that. Do you want to speak on a bit of how the CLB placement came up and like that whole story? Because like you said, I'm sure you're on your way up and then that happens and it just kind of goes a bit crazy.
Yeah, it kind of hurt my head a little bit in a bad way. But yeah. So CLB was like, I think Drake's been working on CLB for a minute, and just in general for probably like 3-4 years. it wasn't called CLB, but it was like Drake. So before that, I told you how I got flown out to LA, and after I met Austin, so Drake starts this word that Drake's trying to work. I'm working with different people trying to like get on that. I worked with, at one point I was in a group chat with Stupid Lou, Des Wright, and this guy called Daniel. Because at that time I went to Des, I'm like, yo fam, I'm trying to figure things out. Like, do you provide any sort of mentorship? You know what I mean? Like, and at that time he was just trying to get like go on a Drake run. He was like, yo, I've been sending a lot to Cardo or whatever. So there was that. Then after, obviously, I never had a consistent phone situation. So they thought I went like Hollywood on them, but I really lost the group chat.
Oh, true.
Like I didn't have the same phone, and like,
Damn.
yeah, it just like fizzled out by accident.
Yes.
But there was that, and after I was working with these guys, Sauce Boy, Cam, and Danny Phantom, who were signed to Preem. And it was just like me being just like proactive in like, you know, trying to get on that project. And some of those avenues didn't work, kind of worked, but those avenues led me in a weird way to Austin, because like I was working with those guys. Like Austin would come to the city, I'll just make sure he's straight. Like if he came to the city, I'm like, yo, I have a studio here. I was working at Orange Lounge a lot, you know. And I was just like, yo, just come over here. Like, they got crazy setup, SSL. Just make them feel comfortable. Hospitality, you know what I mean? Like, hospitality goes a long way. And I never really asked him to send ideas. I never asked him for anything too much. It's just more or less like, yo, just making sure he's good. You know what I mean? Then what happened? One day, after hitting him on a random tip, like, not had nothing to do with music, he just asked for a pack. And the first pack I sent was just like the Drake idea. But like, how I made the idea itself and like my side of the story was, okay, I was teaching a class, and the student I met and the student I was teaching was talking about some of Party Next Door and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, there's an idea that I've been sitting on in my head for like maybe 6 months now. Let me finally do this. Like, he just reminded me to do the idea.
Yeah.
I made this sample in my head 6 months prior. And I'll do my vocal sample aside to my class. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I did the chords, I did the vocal idea, and we were going crazy. We were freaking out. And like that energy translated to the file name. I called the idea Out of Here. So AUTTAHERERRRR. That's just Out of Here.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I put that in the freaking pack to Austin. Then after, he's like, hold this, like, you know what I mean? So like, he came and gave me a little word on something, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool, like that's sick. After like I didn't hear much about it. Then obviously not to like go too deep into the situation, he's like, yeah, I'm cooking for Drake right now. And I was like, yo, fam, I want to go to Miami or LA to work with Meek or whatever. And I forgot who was like putting me onto that play, but someone's like, yo, come to Miami to work with Meek, or somebody, or even just come to LA to work. I think I told him, and he's like, yo, you should stay in Toronto and work on Sylvie, bro, trust me. And it was so weird, cause like, why is that telling me not to travel? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's not like my super brethren for him to be like, yo, like, stay home.
Yeah.
And it just like, because obviously, like, probably trying to be discreet or whatever, to be like, yo, like, probably got one.
Yeah.
It just came off in the weirdest tip. But that, like, me, like, you know, knowing the behind the scene game, like, I kind of like read it. I was like, okay, like, he's definitely not telling me something, and you know, I don't exactly know what it is, but he's not telling me something. He's into reading me two lines. But I still went to LA, whatever. And after, like, I think one day, Noel posted a video with Drake with his chain and this interesting beat, and I heard it, and it was like, Drake was like, it was a Drake track, obviously, for CLB. And I heard a feature, and I'm like, yo, whoever has that, I was trying to like manifest the situation.
Yeah.
Whoever has that is like, yo, probably a lucky person. The video, I kind of find that video to this day. Like, I remember seeing that video once, and you know, some people that probably were paying attention to those at that time, CLB were probably like, yo, like, you know, they'll remember that video. But I think Drake posted it because my track low-key leaked, like, before it even dropped.
Oh, word. Damn.
Low-key. But it wasn't like, it was like a well-contained leak.
Oh, okay.
And after whatever, because at that time, CLB, any leak that happened, like, it was like, it helped you like figure out what the product's gonna sound like. It was like, there was like that French Montana Drake leak, you know what I mean, that the homie Evergreen did, that people were like, yo, there was the fucking TSU leak that, you know, that was not around, and people were like, yo, that's a leak. There was like the a lot of 42, which ended up being what's that song with Love All. You know what I mean? There's so, you imagine paying attention to this. Like, you know, I know Waves was sending me oh, I read it every time, like, yo, have you heard this? Have you heard this? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, my Zvke leaked a little bit, and it started getting intense. Like the whole Connie and things start happening. You know, I had a chance to work with some people in LA that were working on CLB, and it's like, it was just approaching that time. And then after, it's like, oh, split. So then get mentioned like 4 days before it drops. It's like, holy fuck, like, this is like crazy. This is real.
So you see the leak and stuff. You know,
I didn't hear the leak till a week before.
Okay. So,
but I heard the track. Like, when I thought about it in hindsight, I heard the track a couple times.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
But so you're like, are you still skeptical about it happening until like 4 days before? Is that what you're saying? Like, you kind of knew? Like, did you get like confirmation like 4 days before?
I had a hunch. Like, like, you know, things were kind of like transpiring or whatever.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for me per se, but more or less for the project.
Okay.
I knew that the whole CLB thing was coming.
Yeah.
No one really knew who had what or whatever. Okay. I was just working in good faith. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Austin had the Lemon Pepper freestyle, so working with him, just like, I was like, okay, like, you know, we can just keep working, you know. I was working with him prior, but like, he had the Lemon Pepper freestyle, so it's like, you know, he's probably gonna get called out to CLB for at least that song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Assumingly, and after, 4 days before, get confirmation of the record, or that there is a record and what the name is, and I was like, all right, this is like lit. And after, I was in LA at that time, so fuck, like, being in Toronto is not the same, because like, I don't feel like a lot of people have, not even people, but just the infrastructure doesn't really support massive places like that. LA is like, bro, that's something that makes the world go round.
Yeah.
I was with Leon Thomas, who I did the record with. We went to the studio together for a little party. Drake officially pushed back the album an hour later. I was off the Casamigos. I was not there. I heard the album, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was like on 11. I wasn't on top 10, I was on 11. So yeah, that was my CLB story. But yeah, I was on 11, fam, and I was on 11 for like 3-4 days straight. Nah, it was more than a week, and I was still doing some classes at the time, so it was like, but like, I mean, just in life in general, like, I would go out to parties in LA or whatever, and just like occasions, situations, and there's like magnetic energy around me.
Really?
At that time. You know what I mean? Like, random girls to the studio after, like, you're just like,
people somehow knew without you telling them type thing.
Nah, it was just like the homies I was with just told everybody. I didn't say a word. I'm about a few words. Bro, I went to this, like, my homie, like, I went to go check my lawyer homie, and like, he's telling all the girls like what I did, and after, it's just like this whole feeling, like, oh wow, oh, so you make music, and it's like, holy fuck, like, I'll do music before, it's not from now, but like, yeah,
that's jokes. I just wanted to go back to like the whole, so I know we asked a couple other producers this, how do you feel though, like, I know you make both samples and beats now, but when it comes to samples and you get like a homie, like I think you said Austin told you, you know, like, hold this for a little bit. How do you go about that? I know it obviously depends with like the type of person that's telling you to hold it, but like, how long are you holding?
At that time, I know a lot of people slept on Austin. I can say that for a fact, because he kept it very discreet, and he wasn't like in the face, like, oh, I'm working with the boy. Like, it was really OZ, Boy Wonder, those guys that people were looking at like, oh, this. I was just working with Austin because he did a couple of tracks I liked back in the day. Like, he did a song with Nav and Belly that was so crazy, and the song with Nav called Know Me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just fucked with him as a producer. I thought his beats were hard.
Fire.
So at that time, how I work with people that's crazy. I don't think a lot of people do this. I literally exclusively worked with Austin for 8 months prior to even knowing that he works with Dre, prior to whatever. I just worked with Austin, just him only. I never worked with anybody else for for 8 months.
I heard a couple of people saying like that whole like, you know, being exclusive to a certain producer. So you're doing that before CLB. You rock with him as a producer. You know, you think he's fire, he's gonna flip it and possibly get into good hands. After like all this, after like where you're at in the position you're at now, are you still in that mind state where you're gonna lock in with someone for a few months, or you're kind of
100%. I believe like this game, it's so easy to get like shiny eyes. Like when opportunity comes, you're like, oh, let me do this, let me do this. I see so many people chasing.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't add up. It never feels substantial. Plus, you don't really build a deeper business relationship with who you're working with.
True.
Like where you can get a lot of benefit and value, you know, in terms of connections, resources, or opportunities, or even deals. Like, you know what I mean? You kind of just get the surface level, like, oh, you just got the fee and the publishing.
Yeah.
But like, when you work with people almost like
Mm-hmm.
you reap a deeper benefit, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And that's what I was doing with Austin, really. Like, I was just like, yo, I just devote all my time to him. Do I do that now, per se? Yeah, I could say that with Ryan. Do that. I don't really work with a lot of people. I work with a handful of people. I can tell you all of them by hand who they are, you know what I mean? Like, Ryan's one of them, and my other homie, Elisa Creddy, is one of them, like, for sure. And if I have to send out, I have a few people I trust.
Hell yeah. And I guess kind of going off of that, we'll just dive into it because I know super interesting, and I know in your a couple of your bios it says you're working with Ryan. Do you want to let the people know like who is Ryan and like what you guys are working? I know he had a crazy show last night. If you want to let them know a little bit.
Show. So in the Ryan is an artist I'm developing. Like, I always feel like producers need to attach themselves to artists, you know. And he just happens to be that person that I'm attaching myself to build with. He's a talented kid. He's like 18 now. Like, he just turned 18, not this year, but late last year. He's a singer. He's special. I feel like he's a generational artist, which was what inclined me to lock myself off and just work with him. Yeah, me, Wonder Girl are developing him right now, which is like a crazy moment because we're all like, Wonder Girl's really from Saga, but she spent a lot of time in Brampton. So a lot of people kind of consider her Brampton, but it's like 3 people from Brampton just like, you know, working together on a grand scale with like eyes on him. During my CLB moment, I told myself, okay, cool. How am I going to follow up? You know, there's always going to be pressure. Oh, what's next? You know what I mean? Literally. And I was like, all right, cool. I can either go and get another smash record, which I didn't want to do, or I can find an artist. And in the midst of my moments, they have their moment and have a platform. And that's essentially what happens. Like, Ryan, I channeled all of my, you know, attention, connections into this one person. I had everybody's favorite at a time. I could ask for anything. I felt like I could ask for anything, I can get it. And I poured that into Ryan, you know?
And I think you've done like a pretty good, like you just said, like from just like all the connection, the eyes on you to exposing, you know, Ryan's talent and his songs. And I think, like you said, like working with Wonder Girl and stuff, it's a pretty cool transition. Like, you know, talk about like where we're at right now and like how like working in a space. So like a lot of people, if you don't know, we're at like Kilometre Music House, Music Group House. Do you want to talk about like, you know, the team here and like having the ability to work in a space like this and, you know,
for sure,
having this team behind you and stuff like that?
For sure. I mean, with Kilometre, it was when I went to LA. I think I'll give better context. I went to LA. I saw a lot of iterations of like music factory like systems. So it's like a place with just multiple rooms and house setup where, okay, like Wallace Lane, for instance, or Tommy Brown's house, or even just like how people describe Chris Brown camps, or, you know, where it's like multiple rooms for different things you can do for samples, post-production, and then there's like strings, like other instruments, vocals, artists can come through, and just having a place where it's like artists can come through and you can make records happen. So when I came here, I was just like, I saw that instantly. I walked into the room and I'm like, oh, I know what this place is. I know what this place can be and where it's going. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's where it was. Like, you know, Ryan was incubated here, like seriously, like a lot. Like when I first came over here, essentially like what it was is like, I obviously had my deal over here. And in the midst of my conversation, I just had Ryan with me, like, hey, yo, this is what I'm working on. Like, this artist, like, invest in me. Like, this is what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? a lot of those records were and experimentations and freedom to create would not happen if we were not here. You know, so shout out Rodney, shout out Mike, shout out Melissa and James. But yeah, that's what Kilometre House is to me. It's just a hub of just great talent, you know, where the networking effect can happen itself. Whereas like I can't, like even this is happening in Kilometre House right now. And this is like, you know, Waves is homie, and it's like we're doing a whole podcast in the studio.
Yeah.
Now we're doing more than just create for artists. We're now creating an opportunity for new people, producers to come and step in
100%.
and to be, you know, to try and be in the forefront of the game. And it's like, you know, it's just an insane networking effect going on right now.
100%. I guess Kilometre, I guess you could call it like a spot that you're usually at when in Toronto and stuff like that. Do you have spots like this in LA, like, or do you prefer? I know you'd go back and forth, but what would you?
Like this?
Yeah, do you have like spot like?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you say at the moment you prefer LA or Toronto more?
LA.
LA, honestly, yeah. But yeah, so you say you prefer LA over Toronto. How often are you getting out there right now? Would you say compared to working in Toronto? Are you go out there every month, every other month?
Yo, like past like 3 years, I've been there for months. Like I've been like going for like last year I went 4 months. The year before I was there for 6 months.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, LA is just a spot to get shit moving. Like Toronto's more a place to to grow your talent.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of my connections and records came from at least being in LA. Even if they're made here, it has something to do with LA. So like both of them together kind of help each other, you know?
Hell yeah. And when thinking of LA, like sounds like you've been there for a while, like what's your most memorable session from there? Like if it's something comes to mind, whether it be like something funny or like whether it's something big came out of it, or would you
My most memorable session, working with like Turbo,
Okay.
it's a Gunna session,
that's
and Gunna pre me because I was sitting beside his girl. That's what I thought. I'm not gonna make it like it seem like like he's like cover over here, but like
yeah.
he probably just wasn't too familiar with me in the room, and he just kept watching me a certain way, and I got kind of spooked.
Did you know it was this girl at the time, or you were just chilling?
Nah, I had a hunt, but there was nowhere to sit.
Yeah, you were just finding a spot.
Like, I don't know. I don't know. It was just like it was a funny situation.
No, that's all right. I'm gonna read a couple stuff from the chat here. Someone one Ascendo said, "Can you tell me how your song with Fetty Wap came around?"
Bro, I don't even know how that song came about. I'm not gonna lie. You wanna know why I say that? Is because what had happened? The producer had hit me saying, "Yo, we got one with Fetty Wap," and I don't know the producer.
No way.
I never sent them the sample. What I speculate happened was there was an A&R online that worked I think with them. Her name is Brenda. She used to work for Warner, and I think she signed them as well. And she had like listen through people's stuff, send submissions. I think it was for T- at first.
Oh, okay.
And whatever, I sent packs and I sent all the whatever those guys had. It was like, what's his name? Frank got that pack, and this other producer, Nick Harla, and like they're like, yeah, they don't know. I don't think they know when we got the samples from either, and yeah, like it just ended up being a Fetty Wap song.
Crazy.
I now you know about. You know what I mean?
That's all right. I mean, like, I guess you could speak on that too. Like the beauty of sampling, how like it can go like so many different directions, and how like every ear to it's a new ear listening to it.
I think the real thing is that I just sent it to someone and they sent it to somebody else, and you should always just take that chance. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just always send out because I didn't expect that to happen, and like if I just hoarded that sample, like if I thought, oh, Brendan's gonna steal my ideas, I'm gonna get credit.
Yeah,
I had that mindset, which I know a lot of people have.
for sure. And let me get one more from the chat. One person said, Eli, how are you these days? One person said, have you ever thought about going back to school? Interesting question.
Hell yeah. I was talking about it like a few days ago. I'm like, I should probably go back to school.
Hell yeah. Was there anything like you'd like to go into or learn about?
Probably psychology, marketing. Well, not marketing, but I love to learn business kind.
Hell yeah.
Or, finance. I really love to go to school for finance. I love to be in like the market. That's just cool.
Yeah. Interesting. I guess one last question here. Just like, do you want to speak on, I know you were saying earlier how pre-pandemic, or during the pandemic, you're pushing stuff online, you're doing a lot of work online. Waves is doing like Where's the Cook Up online. Do you want to speak on like necessities, or like how powerful it is to work online and be doing stuff online, whether it's in Discord communities and sending stuff out online, especially in like a place like Where's the Cook Up, or compared to like networking in person at the same time?
100%. Online, it's just leverage. Like, you can reach so much people than if you were to do it on foot or word of mouth, just because it's like everybody just has access anywhere around the world whenever they want, whatever time. So it's just like, why wouldn't you? There's so much upside just posting online and just creating that brand, as well as when you start hacking the algorithm a little bit more better, being consistent, and the algorithm works in your favor, sharing your product and people's stuff being in the first feed, it just reaches so many people. There's like so many like it's crazy because of the internet. Like, you know that artist Jvke with a V, Golden Hour?
Jake with a V? No, I don't, to be honest.
So there's this big artist, like he's big now. Like, you go see his streams, like he has like 500 million.
Crazy.
And has one massive song called Golden Hour. Like, he used to work with me and the homies on some sample stuff, and this goes internet. He has actually a song with Eric Bellinger, produced with Nami and Coop the Truth.
Crazy.
And like, now he's like some massive ass like artist, like, but he's like, I think from California. Like, ain't no way like in Toronto that's gonna like, I can find that.
Crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But with the online connections,
Online connection, you just find different people, as well as like I connect with people in like Kazakhstan, like Russia, where it's like I have no family there. Hey, you know what I mean? It's just like, and that's just a whole mind-blowing experience in itself. So the power of the internet is like powerful. That's not just to show you the limit of it, but branding yourself is important, because like when you get into the room, like it's not the most talented person that like gets the opportunity. It's the person that's like the most, not the most branded, but brands himself well, carries himself well, who can like show that they can deliver. Maybe they're not the one delivering themselves, but they can show that they can deliver to an extent. So
all right, well, before we get into the next segment, I got one last question. A lot of people are saying that you're pretty good at FIFA, and they've been seeing it on your Instagram stories and stuff. You always seem to slip it in there. Personally, I don't know. Are you winning these FIFA games? Are you like? Would you say you're decent at FIFA?
when I say I'm decent, I want to say I'm decent.
No. They're wondering though. A couple people are wondering if you can get a FIFA tournament in soon.
For sure, I'll try to organize a producer tournament.
That'd be lit.
You know what I mean? Like, where people online, different places who think they're good, you know, could come play.
That'd be sick.
A lot of people think they can come play. They like come play, then they go home disappointed.
Trash, yeah. Are you only running FIFA at the moment?
Huh?
You play FIFA pretty regularly, or any other game? Yeah.
Really. People like, you know, when they come to me, the first thing they're like, it's like, yo, run the FIFA. You know what I mean? Because they want to test me, and it's kind of crazy because it just makes.
You're holding your ground though?
Of course, I'm holding my ground, bro. Like, even online, I'm playing online these days too, and I have a pretty like sick like win record, you know.
Those jokes. All right. Well, if anybody has any more questions, you guys can send them in. We'll open them up as we go, but so we'll just hop into the Waves section. But yeah, shout out waves.com. Waves.com is a sample library. Has a bunch of sounds on there, different genres, different styles. You can search by artist, by producer, key, and BPM. You can go on there, download samples. You can download stems as well, all that cool stuff. So yeah, shout out waves.com. Okay, we'll switch the screens over, and we're going to go on waves.com. If you can also let them know what you're searching and then maybe they'll follow along and try to flip it as well later on.
Okay, cool. I'm looking to for just a vocal acapella. I can't hear myself.
I'm my baby, and I'll hold you. Come on, my body, give me pressure. You forget.
You have to wear it, yeah, just to hear the samples here.
And I'll hold. Come on, my body, give me pressure.
So really just looking for a vocal without anything.
If y'all in the chat, can you? Oh, never mind. Y'all can hear the audio.
I've been drinking.
I was looking for like just like an acapella. It's like a
Soft lips of
Jersey Flores. I don't know how to say that.
Oh, Jocelyn Flores.
Yeah, type of vibe. I really like that. I'm gonna download this one. I just finished downloading it. So this is from ways.com. Melts My Heart vocals, A major. I don't know who I think the producer is called Cold Illumination.
All right, so Melt My Heart's a cappella sample by Cold Elimination. If y'all want to download that, make your own flip as well. I'm sure Eli would be keen to hear it later on. You guys can post it in the Discord and all that fun stuff.
This girl, she's so beautiful. Soft lips of an angel. Soft lips of an angel. Lips of an angel. Lips of an angel. Holding. She really melts my heart. This girl, she's so beautiful. This girl, she's so beautiful. This girl, this girl, she's so beautiful. An angel. This girl, she's so beautiful. An angel. This girl, she's so beautiful. Holding. This girl, she's so beautiful. Holding. Angel.
Right now I'm just like making the phrase like make sense.
This girl, she's so beautiful. Holding. Angel. Holding. Angel. This girl, she's so beautiful. Soft lips of an angel. Holding. Really melts my heart. She really melts my heart.
When you're kind of working with vocals, is there anything that you're like, I know right now you just said you're kind of arranging it before you start. Is there anything you look for in vocals when you're picking them out, or just the melody that catches you?
Just like the melody right now, just like organizing the melody so it's a cool phrase I can play over. I feel like that one had too many like gaps
For sure.
but like that I just as I was like saying, I was just like that XX vocal vibe was like hard to me.
This girl, she's so beautiful. Holding an angel.
I love chorus and modulation, like
She's
that's
so
just fire.
beautiful. She really
Do you have any plugins that like you love using on vocals at the moment that's like a go-to?
This girl, she's
flanges
so
for sure.
beautiful.
And you are you primarily in FL?
I can use all DAWs, well except for like Cubase.
Yeah.
But I use like Logic.
Sorry to Cubase and Reason fans. Kind of shut them down. We were all just like, yeah.
No, nothing against them. It's just like I don't consider them the major DAWs. I feel like Logic, Ableton, and FL are the three majors, and I know how to use all three. I have a Mac too.
This girl, she's so beautiful.
There's a very Toronto-esque Eli sound.
This girl, she's so beautiful. Holding an angel. This girl, she's so beautiful. She really melts my heart. This girl, she's so beautiful. Holding an angel.
I would just like start off with chords. I was like fucking with those. It's like I like see chords and numbers and I use the numbers relative to like pop their music. It's really just a 4, 5, 6 after. So that sounds like, even with the sound selection, it feels like Bad Bunny, Party Next Door. You know what I mean? Depending on the drums.
This girl, she's so beautiful. Holding angel. This girl, she's so beautiful. She really melts my heart. This girl, she's so beautiful. Holding angel.
Oh, I feel so funny. Someone was just sorry to interrupt. Did you have any musical teaching growing up, like, or how do you learn keys over time?
Yo, hold on,
Yeah, dude, lay down.
This girl, she's so beautiful. Holding angel. This girl, she's so beautiful. She really melts my heart. This girl, she's so beautiful. Holding angel. This girl, she's so beautiful. She really melts my heart.
So it's like really when I started going to university, I was like, yo, man, I can't cheat myself in this career. Like, I really got to put my work in. And I just made sure, like, for like 8 months straight, just learned keys, practice all 12 keys through the scale, like C da da da, D da da da, minor, major, then learn a circle of fifth. In terms of practicing the circle of fifth, and after that's like kind of what I did. I had like training prior, more classical music when I was a kid.
Okay.
But it wasn't. I didn't really feel like it was super sufficient because you only really learn like the songs. You don't really like learn how to make it make sense of production. Not until like when I
Would you? I was going to say that after school program taught you a lot about music, or more of just
more da,
more
of the da.
True.
Than actual like theory.
This girl, she's so beautiful. Holding angel. This girl, she's so beautiful. She melts my heart. This girl, she's so beautiful. Holding angel.
For the last
This girl, she's so beautiful.
to guess, we forgot.
This girl, she's so
Anybody have a
beautiful.
time suggestion in the room? Waves?
Holding angel. Holding angel. This girl, she's so beautiful. Angel. This girl, she's so beautiful. She melts my heart. This girl, she's so beautiful.
Thank you. It's a mistake, so I think it'll still sound fire if I do this. Let's start. much time I have left?
Let's see.
Little variations at the end of progressions.
Yeah.
I gotta go find the original.
This girl, she's so beautiful. Soft lips, this girl, she's so beautiful. Soft lips, she memorized my heart. This girl, she's so beautiful. Soft lips, she memorized my heart. This girl, she's so beautiful. Soft lips. This girl, she's so beautiful. Soft lips,
Okay, cool. So,
this girl, she's so beautiful.
this thing I like to do where I just like put flanges, and this is like how I create a quote unquote sound. It's like I have a particular process on like I have a particular. It's like in this case, these are examples where I would put a flange just on the vocal itself, like the lead vocal.
Okay.
And after, I don't have it on this laptop, but after I print it out, like consolidate it, put a pitch shift, and for some reason, like the modulation reacts interestingly with the pitch shift, which gives it this like milky sound pause. But like that's just like mad hard, mad hard.
Bro was fast with that.
But like when you do things a particular way, like in terms of flipping and whatever, that's just a lot of
That was a lot. We'll repeat it though.
But when you do things a particular way, it every time that's like get your sounds. So like for instance, like I feel like Jetson, not confirming or denying he does this, but like maybe on like an old Zay 808, he'll probably push that velocity thing high,
Okay.
or that boost just high, but do that every time, and that's his so quote unquote sound. Just to them for sure affect a particular way.
This girl, she's so beautiful. Soft lips, this girl, she's so beautiful. Soft lips,
If that's overstepping, but
if y'all want to see him make a beat in 5 minutes, put some W's in the chat. All right, let's do it though. We got 5 minutes though. We're gonna hold you to it. All right, 5 minutes is on. Let's get it.
So that, where is it?
What kind of EQ curve did it do? Someone said never seen that EQ curve in my life.
Where I just kind of like massively boost the top and low pass it. It works sometimes just to make the sound more enunciated a little bit, like the mid range.
Someone said might as well send this to Drake,
right? I like how fast the 17. How much time do you have left?
Really good 4 minutes, 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Easy. Wolf. Really.
It's clean.
It's your part, cause she turned to my headphones. Thank you.
Minute 30. get some W's in the chat for Eli. Hell yeah, that was fire. The beat was actually insane. That turned out crazy.
Yes, sir.
So let's get some W's in the chat if y'all rocking with that. Let's throw those in the chat. You could save that if you could hold on to that project file for the second. We'll play it just when we end. So hell yeah, man. So we had Eli Brown cook up there for a little bit. Did a little interview. We want to give one more shout out to waves.com. Great sample library full of tons of samples, sounds, stems. You can go down on there, search by genre, key, artist, sound, style, anything you want. It'll probably pop up. Great sound selection as well. They're rolling out in the next few months. They're rolling out presets. So keep an eye out for that. They're going to have presets for all your favorite VSTs. So some cool presets, preset banks will be available on waves.com. So make sure you guys are checking that out. And yeah, Eli, do you have anything you wanted to say before we head out? Where they can follow you, where they can follow your projects, what they should be looking out for?
They can follow me on Instagram, Godblesseli, Twitter, Godblesseli. They should be looking out for Ryan Douglas, Mr. Ryan Douglas, Ryan with an H, so RHYAN, and Douglas, DOUGLAS. Yes, sir. And obviously, where's the cook up? But obviously, you're here, you know.
Hell yeah. Well, that's it. Oh, yo, I actually need to get you to do something. I forgot to do it last week. We did it with Antoine. I'm gonna ask you to one thing I've been doing. I'm gonna sign my laptop. Yeah, I got this little top piece here.
I flipped on eBay.
Nah. I already got enough signatures in here. You guys are all. I'm gonna 360 everybody. Wherever you want. For everyone in here, make sure you hop on Discord. Where's the cook up? If you guys downloaded Eli's sample, make sure you post it in Discord. Hit up Eli in DMs and all that cool stuff. He'll listen to it. Waves will listen to it. Hell yeah.
God bless cook up. So it's like the both.
Ooh, look at that. Hell yeah. Here, show the camera one more time.
Oh. God bless cook up.
Hell yeah. All right, we're gonna run this beat through one more time. Maybe we can play it on the speakers for everybody in the room. Hell yeah. Thank you again, Eli.
No problem. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's a wrap. Let's play this beat and we'll head out. See you guys soon.
Amazing. Thank you.
There it
Fetty X.
Oh yeah, for sure.